Whoa, gotta get this hair under
I
control.
know. Quarantine hair is what I'm calling mine now.
Welcome to Fearless Chats, where people bravely challenge their outdated instinctive fears around rejection, failure, and social norms with never before seen random questions and a whole lot of uncomfortable eye contact. Today, my guest is Dr. Brandi Baldwin, founder and CEO of Millennial Venture Holdings, a leadership advising firm for startups founded by women and people of color. There is so much to say about Dr. Brandi. I didn't know where to start, so let me just give you the highlights. She was named one of Philadelphia's most influential African Americans. She's the recipient of the Philadelphia Business Journal's 40 Under 40 Award and the 2019 Diversity and Inclusion Outstanding Ally Award. She is part of the teaching team at Wharton School of Business, an author of the book Put in Work, and she is set to publish, I think your second book is coming out soon, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
They'll learn more.
Yes. And we'll give you some time to talk about that at the end. And she is just like the embodiment of power, focus, and a commitment to excellence. So while we should all be blown away by her accomplishments, the thing that I personally find just amazing about you is the quote that you have on your website. You believe that you were put on earth to impact, not impress, which to my thinking is just one more reason why we should be so impressed by you. Dr. Brandi, welcome to Fearless Chats. What did I miss?
Nothing. You got it all. I make a joke. I tell people that I cringe when I hear some of my accomplishments. I'm like, my mom actually wrote my bio. That's why it's so packed with everything. But you hit it there. And one thing I'll just add is I am a mother of two, and they do not put any respect on my name. So thank you for that. They keep me humble. So
kids are good for that. But it's also great that kids are good for that, and moms are good for writing bios, because I think especially as women, we tend to downplay our accomplishments and we get shy about it. And man, own it. You have done so much. It is truly an honor to have you on Fearless Shots. So thank you for being here and taking the time to do this. We're going to dive right in. Dr. Brandi, I have 3 pretty random questions for you.
Okay.
There's no follow-up, so feel free to go as long as you want. And when we stop, we stop.
Okay.
So first question, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. If you could control all biological things on Earth, what's one thing that you would change?
Wow. Oh my gosh. These are random questions. I would maybe say, I wonder if this counts. I would honestly say sickness and illness. Does that count?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so I'm going to say sickness and illness. And this is why, I believe that in a perfect world that didn't have so many external competing forces, we could have a better chance of being healthy. And when you have your health, you have your wealth. I remember a quote by Steve Jobs, and he said, there's no amount of money that can save you, when you have an illness. And I thought, wow, isn't that interesting? And a lot of people don't know that what kind of made me take the ultimate leap into entrepreneurship was a situation that happened with my firstborn daughter. She's a preteen now, but my oldest. And I literally was working at a job, typical 9 to 5, stellar reviews. I was a great, ideal employee, if I may say so myself. And I went out on maternity leave. And when my daughter was born, we found out that she had a rare genetic condition. And that came with a physical surgery that she would need to have. And so when we found that out, there was no child care center or daycare that would take her because she needed special feeding. And it literally, I was a new mom, brand new. My bubble was burst. And I contacted my employer and I said, hey, remember me? Out on FMLA, this is what happened with my daughter. Can I maybe get a little bit more time to be off because she has health issues and that sort of thing. And the response that I got back from that email essentially was a no. It was like, you're awesome. Thank you so much. And but if you can't come back 5 days a week, 9 to 6, I'm sorry, it was 9 to 6 p.m. because they forced you to do an hour break. We're not going to be able to hold your position. And I was like, okay, all right then. My feelings were hurt. I experienced immediate anger. And I then knew that I could not trust that 9 to 5 environment. But my whole world was turned upside down. It forced me into entrepreneurship, something that I kind of was toying around with, but I went full steam ahead. But that's how God works. He pushed me right exactly what I in the place that I needed. So it was a good end of the story. But what I will say is one little thing like my daughter's health could have had a negative impact on my entire well-being in my life. And there's so many other millions of people stories in my, in the world who health in general has been something that has really taken the zest out of life. And so in the current world, with the current systems that are in place, some which are very dysfunctional and toxic and have ulterior agendas and motives, if I could control something right now, the snap of my fingers, I would take away disease. Because I think that life is just so much more enjoyable when you have your health. So I hope that was a good answer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was so much more than I anticipated getting. It was a great story. And I'm assuming your daughter is well and healthy today. And
she was well. By the time she had her second or third birthday, she was good to go. The team, the doctors, and the prayers of family and friends, she doesn't even know that she has anything. We haven't even told her. As an adult, we will. If she wants to have children, she may want to know about her health history, but we have made sure to let her live a normal life. And, we help her with her challenges, but God is good. That's all I can say about that.
Incredible. I'm so glad it was a happy ending to a scary story. And I love that answer because I do think so many of us take our health for granted. And it's only until the health of a loved one or... Ooh. Yeah. And absolutely. What a time to be talking about health, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. What 2 items, not people, would you grab if your house was on fire?
Oh my gosh. Okay. 2 items. If my house was on fire. So that means I probably couldn't get it again. So I would say, so I'm super organized. I literally have organized and indexed every single photo from my childhood, high school, prom, like all the way into current time. And I have it in a huge, storage thing. I would grab those photos because they're pre-digital. This is when I had to go to CVS with all my little disposable cameras, wind it up all the way to the end and pick it up, pick my photos up. So I definitely would say some of those photos, which are not, I wouldn't be able to find them anywhere else. Right? That's I'm like, what else? I'm like, child, everything else can burn. Let me see. Oh, good example. Violin. So I have a full size violin, and this is a tiny violin that I was hoping one of my children would adopt and take after me. I played the violin for over 20 years, was a part of symphony orchestras, and I haven't done it in the last couple of years because of business, but I would grab my violin, the small one or the big one. Either I would definitely take those. Musical instruments are just like a violin. You can't let that burn, okay? But the computer, the technology, everything else can burn. But my photos and my violin, I think, will be 2 things that I wouldn't want to live without.
I love it. And I am, again, amazed because is there anything you don't do? Come on, leave some of it for the rest of us. That's amazing.
Right? I know. I be into all. You know what it is? I have people like, how are you so confident to do different things? I'm like, I'm not confident. I'm naive. I'm one of those people.
That's right. It. I'm telling you.
I'm like, they're like, the odds are that this is probably highly unlikely. I'm one of those people that's like, so you're saying there's a chance. That's just how I think.
Yes. That's exactly it. I think this is why you and I are clicking. There's a couple things. One, you just have a zest for life that it's immediate. It's like, man, this woman understands that life is so precious. It's so cool. Yes. And what you just reminded me of, actually, my grandfather, I've been thinking a lot about him. My grandfather just passed. And his one of his favorite quotes was from Kennedy. And Kennedy would say, most people look at the world and they say, why? And I look at it and I say, why not?
Telling you.
That's the whole thing. I don't know, let's give it a shot. let me reach out to this superstar and see if she'll take 15 minutes of her day. And oh my gosh, it worked. Oh, so cool.
I'm telling you, all you got to do is ask. Ask. I'm a believer. I do practice, I am a Christian, and I think that it's so many other different belief systems are in alignment, and it's like asking, you shall receive. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean everything you ask for, but things that are in alignment, you do with a pure heart, man, you'll be surprised. And I've used that as one of the values for my life, and you'll be surprised what doors are open if you just open your freaking mouth and just say, hey, it's just, it keeps me in that childlike faith is very important, and I'm someone who's very educated formally. I have, more degrees than a thermometer. Right. And I literally had to unlearn some of the things that I was taught, and it's been so freeing. And that's why I love what you're doing. And you are so forward thinking when it comes to the workplace, humans, people, like how it all interacts together. And that's why I think you're right. That's why we have some synergy. So
thank you. Oh man, that's so good. This is like good for my ego right now. All right, third question. This is about you. Here we go. Third question. Okay. If you could adopt a trait from any other person, anyone, what would it be and why? Take your time. They're big questions.
A trait from somebody else. Okay. A trait. Man, that's good. If I could adopt a trait from someone else, I would just say boldness, like on 1,000. Okay. I'm pretty courageous. I'm pretty bold, in my lane, right? It's easy to be bold when you're playing in your lane and you're playing the position. Right. But I think that I have seen a few people who are bold to the point that they advocate for others. They dedicate their entire life to speaking out maybe about wrongs. They are unafraid of the system. They're unafraid of criticism of people. Like, you really have to have a certain type of faith or courage or, to be able to be that bold. And I think that, and the reason why I say that is because right now we are in a time, I think, in history where we, the Instagram world, we want to kind of, we aspire to be like others. And I think that that's okay. But are those people that we're aspiring to be like, or that we're emulating, do they have that boldness? And I think that being politically correct is the thing right now. You can't boldly share your beliefs. God forbid someone else is going to be offended by something else that you say or something else. People are offended by the thoughts you have in your head, and I think that, and not all thoughts are good. I get that. But I think that in history, when you think of a Gandhi, someone who will literally not eat, who fasted for a cause. And there are some of us who can't even skip a meal, one meal before we start, so I would say some of that boldness just on that global scale. I would really admire people who have that. And there have only been a few in history that I think have really stood out as people who legitimately are bold. It's not a caricature. That's the best I can do on that one. Whoa, that was a tough one.
No, but that was a great answer. I think the whole world could use a good dose of boldness right now, of becoming fearless, right? Of recognizing we need to stand, we need to speak our truth, we need to be bold in a positive direction for sure, because there are a lot of things going on right now that need to be righted. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So this is the most uncomfortable part for most people. I have a timer set. Pulling it up.
It takes a lot to make me uncomfortable. So
I know this is interesting for me because I've gotten to do this a number of times now. And each time it's very different depending upon who's across from me. And I'm so excited because we've never actually seen each other face to face before. Right. So this will be fun for me. So the timer is set for 2 minutes. There's no rules other than there's no speaking and we can't break eye contact. All right. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Timer starts now.
Okay. Okay.
We did it. All right. So before you lose it,
Okay.
everything about what that experience was for you. Where did your head go? What was going on in your head?
Yes. So I totally at first, and I don't think I experienced awkwardness. Like I'm awkward as a person to myself. So like I didn't experience awkwardness. And being uncomfortable is like something that is so normal for me. So like there's a lot, like it takes lots for me to be embarrassed, whatever. So that said, in the beginning, I literally just feel like the emotions of my spirit were just bubbling to the front, which was just sheer joy and laughter and comedy, which is just like the baseline of who I am. I'm pretty lighthearted. So
Yeah.
I will say that. Then I started to, in my head, get a little competitive because I'm like, do this. It's 2 minutes, stare her down, and do not. Like I was trying.
Mhm.
And then I was in myself, I was like being funny to myself. So then I started laughing again because I'm like, you're really trying to. So I did have some internal dialogue, but close to the end, like that last 40 seconds, I was locking in and just, comfortable. I thought it was great. And I felt that, we, from a psychological perspective, there's this thing called mirror neurons. It's the reason why when one person yawns and another person yawns. And so I felt like we were able to, close to the end, almost like recalibrate. Like we were like trying to and then I finally felt like we kind of like, we got there somewhat at the end. So,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a moment where I saw your face change and you were like, it was just a subtle, like, and
Yes.
I caught myself right after going, I was like,
Yes.
now we got this.
Yes.
No, thank you. That was it was joyous with you. That was a perfect experience, or perfect description of that experience for me as well. Because that first few seconds, I was like, I can just feel her energy and her spirit. Just
And I was trying to just contain, when I'm speaking and I'm talking and I'm vibing, I'm just like, people feel it through the screen.
right.
And so it was like, bring it down. I have to like be quiet now. So
No, it's great because, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think part of this experiment for me is to understand how we connect, and especially through technology, which we're kind of forced to use at this point. Like, can we still physically connect and feel and understand one another? And based on that, I'd say today, yeah, definitely.
I loved it. This is super cool. I love it. I think that it's a welcomed shift from the Zoom webinars and learning, and that's very prescriptive and predictable, and that's good. Like I'll be doing some content like that too, but I think this would be enjoyable for people to watch and see and to share. So I loved it.
Thank you. And thank you. So congratulations, because you, Dr. Brandi, you made it through a fearless chat. And despite like any stress or discomfort that you might have experienced, you didn't die. Yay!
Right. The disclaimer, you will be okay.
Right. You will be okay. I think that's the thing that so many of us struggle with is like, oh my gosh, what happens if something goes wrong?
Right.
Nothing. Right?
Right.
Nothing. I have a little voice that I have to deal with and say, hey, it's okay. And it stops us from really truly living and enjoying the opportunity to meet a total stranger and have a weird intimate moment. I have to share this with you because if I don't, I'm going to regret it. When we were first making eye contact, I literally could not stop thinking about, I was like, I feel like I'm 9 years old at a sleepover party trying not to get old. Right? Like that's where my head went. And I was like, this is weird, but
yes. Yes. It's like in class, it's like the best laughs are when you're at church, in class, supposed to be quiet. Like those are the best ones because it just comes up from like, you're trying to hold it in. So
yeah. Dr. Brandi, thank you so much for being on. If you have anything else that you want to share, where people can find you, look you up, get more information, anything like that, if people want to connect with you, where can they do that?
Yeah, so everyone can go to drbrandi.com. It's all spelled out, DoctorBrandi.com. That's the hub for everything. So yeah, that's where they can find me.
Super. Dr. Brandi, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So while you are waiting for next week's questions and guests, you might just go have a fearless chat of your own. Who inspires you to be fearless? It's your turn to have a fearless chat. Instructions and new questions are posted each week on my blog and, of course, all the social streams. So be sure to like, follow, and share your own chats using the hashtag #FearlessChat. Let's all make room for more growth, more fun, more connection by becoming fearless. Oh, and let me know who you'd like to see as the next guest. I'm always open to suggestions and ideas. We'll see you around. Keep being fearless.